happening with it? It's Izze The Producer, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
Izze The Producer.
All right, so we got the one and only Izze The Producer jumping off the porch with us today. Welcome,
Yes, sir.
bro.
Yes, sir. You know, I've been jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove, man.
Man.
This year's in the making, so.
Yeah, at least a decade, right?
Man, y'all been supporting me for so long, dog. Yeah. I feel like y'all support part of my team. For real,
man. Nah, so it's an honor to have you sitting up here with us today, too.
Man, likewise. I'm thankful just to be a part of y'all journey, as well as I know y'all glad to be a part of mine, man. We making history.
Nah, definitely, man.
For sure.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of this history, though, man. So first, let's take it back to Virginia, man. So you from Newport News, is that right?
Yep, Newport News, same Allen Iverson, Mike Vick, some of the greats that then came out of that city. So.
Yeah. So, you know, I also understand Virginia's a hard place to make it out of, though, as well, too.
Yeah, man, it's just like any other small town. It's not a bunch of movement that's going on as far as the industry. You know, it's not like a lot of places to reach and grab and be able to catapult yourself over into, you know, the industry that you would like to be in.
Yeah. What would you say were some of your keys to make it out of Virginia then?
Get out of Virginia.
It was that easy?
It was to see the world, you know, like a lot of people never seen much of the world as far as just getting out to 7-5 or just getting out of Virginia, period. Like, you gotta just travel and expand your mind. So once I traveled and started expanding my mind, I felt like it was a little more for me just outside in the world. So I did everything I could to get out.
Yeah. What's it like today when you go back and visit them?
Bittersweet, because it's like, it's home, but then it's like, I've grown so much, and you see the things in the city grow, and you see like different people growing, everything's changed. So like you go home and just recognize just the change, and it feels different, because it's not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's for the better. Like, everything's for the better.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So how did we get our start? Were you rapping at first, or did you really just start off just making beats?
Nope. Man, I started out like sports led me here. I was playing basketball and I was hooping, but I was having a hard time because I didn't understand the politics of basketball in high school and stuff. So I was hooping over my homeboy crib downtown by my pop's crib, and right around the corner from my pop's crib, and you know, we shooting outside, we just hooping. And he like, yeah, man, we finna go in the studio. And I'm like, the studio? Like, you got a studio? So we went in his crib, long story short, man, he introduced me to FL Studio, and I took it upon myself to go home and download it. And I started just training myself and teaching myself every day, because I'm like, damn, this is interesting. It's another way to express myself just through my art. And like, I started to love it and grow to like really want to do it and invest in it. So from that point, it just led into me becoming a producer. Okay. So it never, like, music was never in my like my view at first. Yeah. So it was always sports and art. Like, I did art before I did sports, and did sports at the same time. So then like music kind of just fell in my lap.
Now, so would you say you were like self-taught, or did you have someone to kind of show you how to use
all self-taught. Like, I had to really get it out the mud. I had to figure out how to be a producer. I didn't know nothing. Like, I just knew that Pharrell was my idol, and you know, like, and I'm looking up to Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre and these other big people, Shawty Redd and other people I didn't know what to do. I just tried to use my ear and just like trust that I was gonna follow the process. I'm like, if I'm gonna commit to this, I'm just gonna follow through with it. Yeah. So like, I never had somebody come and teach me to play the piano or teach me the guitar or nothing like that. I had to really self-teach myself. Okay.
Now, were you like, what did your early beats sound like? Were you like trying to mimic like Pharrell and Shawty Redd?
I definitely was trying to mimic. I was trying to just get the sound there. I was training my ear. And I felt like every time I got close, I would play it in the car, and I'd be like, oh, this ain't it. But then I was getting reactions from people around, because my beats were actually, the more I was working, my beats was getting better and better. Than, you know, the sound around the way wasn't that. I had a direct connection to Atlanta by listening to the music and having people here, knowing people here. So my sound just started to elevate. So I felt like it was weak, but people around me was like, damn, this some next level shit. And I'm like, man, I'm just trying to I'm copying niggas' beat patterns and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm copying Pharrell's drum patterns, just trying to catch the feel and understand what I'm doing versus just doing it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is how to do it. Like, I just was trying to catch the feeling of it.
How long would you say it took you to feel comfortable to, kind of step out and, start experimenting with your own sound then?
Years, man. It's still like that today because I'm not trained to be a producer like some musicians are. Like, some musicians know exactly how to just structure things. Me, I'm always just playing with textures. I treat music like really like art, like how I treated art. It's all textures, it's all colors, it's all like what form am I trying to create? So when I'm trying to create a new sound or a different sound, I'm thinking like that. And it get hard because you just never know what to catch, what's gonna do what.
So who were some of the first artists to rap on your beats then? Was it was local or elsewhere?
It was some local artists from around the way. I was trying to work and produce for and like build up their thing, like their catalog and just their sound. And it didn't work out. Some people had their foot, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Me, I just completely committed, to be a producer and an artist and a writer and everything that I could be. So some people was local, but then I started reaching out. Like I had a big YouTube presence. I had a big social media presence at the time because I was active. I was so active on social media. I started meeting people in Atlanta. I started meeting people from Memphis. I started meeting all of these people and I just started working with them. And I was putting my beats on SoundClick. Like most of the OG producers know about SoundClick. That's how we was selling beats before all of this stuff. So one of the first artists I really started working with, like personally, that me and him grew a relationship was Marco.
Okay.
Rockstar Marco. Yep. Okay. And I gotta salute my boy every time because he just kept working with me. Like, and I felt like my sound wasn't ready, but he did. So we built up a sound and we kept on working. And then that just led to me reaching out to other artists, and I ended up getting to Jeezy. Okay. So Jeezy was one of the first like big artists on my beats, and just like one of the first artists on my beats actually. So I came out the gate that way, and that's when I started taking music serious. And at that time, man, I'm still learning how to be a producer. I'm still trying to figure out what's what. I didn't know nothing.
What was that placement with Jeezy?
Trump on Real Is Back too. Yeah.
That's right.
So that shit like made waves, and I took that and just kind of like say, yo, I'm gonna really like take my time and just learn how to do things and be a fly on the wall in a bunch of sessions.
Yeah. And did you have the tag back then?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't have the tag. No, I had the tag on the Jeezy record. I for sure did. But before that, I didn't have the tag. I was still experimenting with it and trying to figure it out. And I didn't know what my tag was supposed to be. I just kind of like made one. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of stuck. Like it really did. So I'm happy for that because I needed one.
You made it yourself? Is that your voice on there?
No, it's not my voice. It was like this AT&T app. Like I've always been on the internet, dog. Like I've always been on the internet. So I found this AT&T app and I typed my name in it, and I had to like go through different voices and everything like that. And I found one, and I had stole this headphone from school from my computer class, and I put it up to the speaker.
Yeah.
And
you just recorded it
played
that way?
it, and I played it, and I played like 4 times. And then I took it, everybody know about Edison and FL, I took it to Edison, I just put it on there, and bro, that's been the same tag. The Izze The Producer tag been the same tag since when I started.
Did you ever think about changing it or adding a second one?
I did. I mean, I have a few, and I've tried ones. I got tags from like a lot of big artists and stuff like that, but something didn't feel right on it. It was just like, just use the one that I have because it got a meaning to it. Because it was part of my journey of figuring out how to be a producer. Yeah. And it just kind of stuck. So sometimes when I use a different tag, they be like, damn, what tag is that? Like, no, put the other one back on there.
No, they want the OG one at this point. That thing's so legendary and stamped right now. It's like, they don't have it. It's like, man, what is this, man? It's the real one.
It's crazy, dog. Like, it's crazy. I've even heard people use it before. Like,
for real, on their own beats?
Yeah, it's been in like a kit or two, and I had to like cease and desist and things, like, because it's intellectual property.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So at what point do you start coming down to Atlanta and networking and working with other artists then?
I started coming down kind of like after high school, like after the Jeezy placement.
Okay.
Me and my manager and my business, he's my business partner as well. we just really started looking at this like, man, are we gonna take this serious or are we gonna play with it? So I started after that. I found my way to scratch up some money. I was working at McDonald's at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I was scratching up some bread just to, you know what I'm saying, make sure that I got down to the A. And he helped me sell beats and stuff like that too, because he wanted to see me win. So he was like, man, look, got somebody trying to cop some beats. That's your flight to Atlanta. We finna get here and move around. I stayed down here for like a week or two, and I ain't want to leave. I did not want to leave, dog.
Yeah, you
Like,
saw the opportunities. You saw
did.
like, man, I could really make a living down here doing this.
and it was just different from being where I'm from.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in a major city now, so it's like you get to see skyscrapers and Phantoms and Porsches and people just having their way for real. So I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing like it before. So I got infected with just the culture down here. And I'm like, I gotta be here. So I made it my duty to find my way down here.
And who were some of the first artists here in Atlanta that you locked in, personally, like face to face?
It was Walker,
Okay.
808 Mafia, Southside, Bankroll Fresh, 2 Chainz. Who else? A lot more, man. I could draw a blank every time because there's so many. Marco. I met Bankroll when he was young, fresh, like early.
Okay,
We was probably somewhere we shouldn't have been. You know what I'm saying? In the studio, just trying to get to it. Like Quick Trip, Travis Porter.
Okay.
Shit, man. DJ Spins. Just shit. A lot of the Atlanta heavy hitters like embraced me. Sunny Digital. Like, so I was able to kind of start moving around and start working.
Yeah.
And who else did I work with? Chip.
Okay. Shout out to
Strip
Chip, man.
Yep. Chip was fucking with me and wanted some beats and stuff too, so that gave me a fuel, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I got people that believe in me and want to hear my beats. So that I had to get here.
Yeah. You were on was it the Do Flock Rant 2 tape?
Yep, Do Flock
Okay.
Rant, yep.
Yeah.
And I think it was one before that too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, for real?
No, it was the one I did DJ Scream project. We had the one with Walker on there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did you get in the studio with Walker for these records, or was this something you were just sending over? Or?
I got in the studio with Walker, and we did records, but those records wasn't the ones that came out. The ones that came out was the one I just sent over the internet or I text to his phone.
Okay.
Yeah, like at that time, we was really just like sending stuff through the phone or sending an email real quick, and they pulling them up ASAP. Like, I mean, just immediately. I don't even know. I turn on the mixtape online. I'm like, damn, I got beats on here, bro. Like,
Yeah, because
on one
during
of
the
big-
mixtapes, there's no paperwork or nothing. It's
None of
just,
that.
and
None
you're
of
probably just happy to get the placements anyway.
That's all it was for us back then. Like, now it's streaming, but back then, like, you know, we had to play the mixtape game.
Yeah.
And I feel like the producers that was playing the mixtape game during that time right now are staples.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
We took the most hits of like not getting paid and stand up in the studio. It's 5 of us fighting over the aux cord. And yeah, man, like everybody know about hot beats, and you sit in there, you sit on the wall and wait for the turn to get the aux cord because Mike Will playing beats or Metro playing beats or Southside or me. We all was in there hustling. Like, so I'm even proud to see my peers the way they are. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing just to see that mixtape, what mixtapes have done for just our careers as producers.
Yeah,
It turned us into artists for real.
Yeah, definitely launched so many careers off of that too.
Man, too many.
So at what point do you meet Dolph, or how do you guys lock in at first?
Me and my manager was listening to him, and he had ended up being cool with his manager.
Okay.
And we were both like, man, shit, let's work, because we was already listening to him, and I was building my sound, and I felt like I had a sound for him, and them two connected me and Dolph, and me and Dolph built our own relationship, and we took off from there. Like, I believed in everything he was doing. Like, he called me for beats at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. I'm sending beats. Like, he know. I'm Mr. 10 beat a day shouty. Like, I'm making 10 beats a day at that time.
Oh shit.
So me and Dolph just like immediately locked in, and he would hit me. And I just would keep pushing the sound. I'm like, man, if this one artist want beats from me, I'm finna cook up every day, so at least I got my sound right, or I don't sound like I'm trying.
Yeah.
And then we created what we created.
Nah, y'all got so many classics, man.
Man, there's so many just sitting in the vault too, though.
Oh, for real. I could only imagine, because I know how much he was recording. It was ridiculous.
It makes sense. Like, you only bump into an artist like that a couple of times, man, and the ones that do are the biggest in the world. Like, when they just hear a beat and it instantly clicks, and they go in there and record, and the song is done within 30 minutes, and they don't even want to hear it no more. They don't even want to hear it no more.
They're on to the next.
Go on to the next one. That's how they work. They don't even let you play 10 seconds of the beat. I'm telling you. I've never went through my beats in the studio with Dolph and just like had to keep clicking.
Really?
I never had to. It's always, hey bro, load that one up, or hey, put all those to the side. And then once he done doing what he doing, he pulling all those up and gonna record on them or do whatever he gonna do with them, and it turned into what it turned into. And I just be like, damn, bro, that's crazy. I just made that last night.
Did you ever get to cook up like in the studio with him, or was he just wanting you to have the beats already ready?
He wanted me to have the beats already. Like we never got the chance to sit down and just cook up, because, you know, most rappers just feel like it's the time and they want to get straight to it. Like they just want to rap. And I'm sure he was down for that, but I felt like I'm cooking up all the time, so I can cut the curve and cut the time and get more placements and more beats to him and just create more sounds if I just had beats ready. So I would have loved to just cook up with him though, and just cook something from scratch, because he had a crazy mind. Crazy mind.
Do you have a personal favorite song that you guys did? Mine might be At the House, or there's so many different ones, man.
Man, there's so many, bro. Like At the House is definitely one of my favorites, because that was one of the ones that went on TV and my family got to see it.
Oh yeah,
But
okay.
I think my favorite right now got to be On the River with Wiz.
Yeah, y'all just got the plaque for that one.
Because it was like, I made a sound that ain't never been heard before. Like I've never heard the way that beat sounds. I just never heard it done before. I could be wrong. Like I know, you know, producers be listening to a bunch of stuff too, but I felt like, you know, during that was that time when he called me 4 a.m. Hey bro, like I'm talking about he lit. Like, hey bro, like look, I'm finna go crazy. I'm finna do this. And when he say that, he finna do something crazy. So my phone always on. So I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning. What's up, bro? Hey bro, send me woo woo woo. And that's how we did Gelato.
Oh wow.
And On the River got to be one of my favorite ones, because like I grew up watching Wiz. Like I got influenced by watching Wiz in the music industry. Like I felt like his career just was so organic. And like I grew up watching him, and then to see Dolph and start building with Dolph, and they both get on a record, and that's the one that go gold on his way to platinum. I'm like, damn, like I remember making the beat. I ain't take that long to make the beat. I just was playing with stuff. And it just turned out like that. So that got to be my favorite record right now, just off of just the strength of that.
Did you think Dolph would jump on that one, considering it was a little different?
I didn't know, man. Like you would never know what he gonna jump on. Like you just don't know. You could just, he the type of person, he just wants you to send some stuff that's like, for him, like you don't send no Katy Perry type beat, but you know what I'm saying? You send him something street, you send him whatever, and he gonna eat if he like it. You know, so it's like, he ain't never had to call me and be like, I want something like this, or I want something like that. He's like, man, just send me that new shit.
Yeah.
And that new shit would be, you know, what will go on the project.
So what's your reaction when you learn Wiz jumps on it then?
Man, you know what's crazy is I didn't know until the project came out.
Oh, for real?
I didn't know. I didn't know I had the first like 4 songs.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know none of that. He just said he was about to do something crazy. He's like, bro, I'm finna turn up, bro. I'm finna go crazy. And he did. And when I seen it, I didn't even know how many I had on the project. Like he kind of just surprised me with it. And I was like, damn, that's wild. I was listening to the project for like 2 months straight.
Oh, wow.
I was like, bro, this all me. Yeah, it's crazy.
And On the River, this went viral on TikTok like years later, right?
Man, that one and Meech, like,
Yeah.
both of them went viral like years later, and that just shows you like the music just don't get old. So when I was watching it go viral, I'm just like, bro, this came out of nowhere. Like I had people sending it to me. They was doing it on cars. They was doing it with their families and everything. I'm like, damn, like this is my sound, and I created. I'm part of this. So just to have something out in the world that's living without you having to do something to it is amazing.
Yeah. Now, did you and Dolph ever talk about like him signing you to paper route?
Yeah, we talked about it. We never just had we never had the final conversations, but he knew my standpoint. Like he looked at me like a boss. He didn't look at me like, oh, just bro, little bro, I just want to sign you. Like, nah, he was always like, even if this shit don't work, man, like, you got it, bro. Like, I believe in you. Like, just keep going. Just don't ever stop. Be like, do that for me. Don't ever stop.
Yeah.
So we always, touched on things, but he looked at me like a boss, because we would sit and have conversations. There's a bunch of things that, like, with Dolph that I feel like just was personal. Like a lot of things not on camera.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of conversations we had a bunch that we relate to. Like, we had a bunch of common. And he looked at me like a boss because he heard my vision. Like he heard just how I look at things and how I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get my people where we need to go. So he was like, you know, we would talk about it, but we never just got to the finish line on it.
Gotcha.
So either it was a partnership or whatever, we just never got to the end of it.
Now you mentioned being a lot of unreleased music you guys did. You think it'll ever see the light?
I believe so. And if it don't, I don't care. Like, I feel like it's art, man. Like, I'm sure it's Basquiat photos, paintings out here that we never seen because it's so special. So some art I'm gonna just be able to sit and listen to and show to my kids or show down the line and other producers and inspire them. Because sometimes, you know, we want this stuff to come out, but you gotta also realize you like creating with someone something that never existed. And now it exists. It's like you gotta cherish it because it could be very valuable one day, in which those songs are valuable. Everybody that, you know, has transition and they got catalogs, like, it's very valuable because the fans want to hear it. And sometimes the fans don't even need it because it's like they're gonna want more of it. It's infectious, you know? So some music, you know, I understand why artists keep in the vault or it's just not ready. Like some songs people don't want out. Like I got songs that, you know, with artists that I've never gotten a placement with that haven't came out. And it's like they want to hold on to it. It's either it's not ready for right now, or it's just like, you know, whatever their vision is. So you just got to be able to, you know, put your ego to the side and not want it out. I mean, not even not want it out, but you got to put your ego to the side and allow it to be art.
Yeah.
That's how I feel personally.
Understood, man. How will you always remember Dolph then?
Hey, like, I'm always remember him just for being a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? Solid. That's how I'm gonna remember him. Like, smile on his face. You know what I'm saying? He just Dolph. Like, when you see Dolph, you know that's Dolph. Same nigga when you see him. Like, he ain't gonna never change up. He rock with you, which is what it is. So I'm always remember him as just like a boss figure, a big brother figure, you know, cause he don't do the small talk. So he gonna always like give you some gems if you around him. Yeah, so I'm gonna remember him in a good light.
Nah, for real. Long live Dolph, man.
Long live Flipper.
Yes, sir, man. You and Dolph, man. How did that connection come about?
Man, through Blah 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 with Rich Homie Quan. She was on the remix.
Okay, that's right. I forgot about that.
And she came through the studio and we connected and it just was instantaneous, dog. Like, as soon as we linked up, like, we just caught a vibe. And she just started working on my beats and it was early, like, it was right after Try Me. It was early, so we was building the sound and we just was kicking it like homies, like, you feel me? Like, just chopping it up, really getting to know each other. And that's how we built the sound that we built, just through creating. Like, we didn't even force it, we didn't try, nothing like that. We just would go in there and cook up.
Yeah.
And like, man, we created a sound too. You know, Dage one of the ones, for sure.
Yeah.
And I salute Dage, because she one of the realest too. I got to say that, like, Dage one of the realest, for sure.
Nah, that's hard right there. So you and Rich Homie, y'all had a lot of hits too.
We got more hits just sitting. Like, if I played you the stuff that was sitting, you'd be like, oh my God. And Quan is another one. Like, he's not real, bro. Like, he's not real. Sometimes I like, when I used to be in the studio with him, he wouldn't let you play 3 seconds of a beat. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I would play a beat and he'll come and tap the space bar and be like, I don't want to hear it no more. Load the key up, put your headphones on, and I'm gonna go in, and it's that. Like, he don't want to hear no more of the beat. And me and Quan would just knock out songs back to back, to back to back, to back to back. Like, he don't take long at all.
Yeah.
Like, he's a unicorn, bro. Like, it's not real. Like, it's some shit you've never seen before. And the way he creates songs. So, man, we got so much heat, and we built the sound as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just organically.
Yeah, and Blah Blah Blah, that's another one that goes viral on TikTok years later, man.
Years later, dog. Like, 10 years later, it goes viral. And I think it, like, helped catapult his second run. You know? And it's just beautiful to see that. Like, it's beautiful just to see something you create from out of nowhere come to life and change people's lives. Or, like, a lot of people can relate that song to a time in their life. Like college. Every time I talk to somebody, like, man, I remember that song when I was in college. We was bumping Blah 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 all the time. And I'm like, bro, you don't even know how I made that beat, bro. I made that shit on a futon, like
On
with
a
no
futon,
with no
really?
speakers. You know what I'm saying? No speakers, no headphones. I made it with the computer speakers, just like
Oh wow.
just cooking up, just trying to use my tool and shopping my tools.
Yeah.
And it happened to be that.
And now it's getting introduced like to a whole new generation here 10 years later, like
Yeah.
you said.
Even the remix, I got to work with some of my favorite artists on the remix. And
Who else was on the remix?
Ty Dolla $ign,
Okay.
Fabulous, and Dej Loaf. And I was able to like go in there and structure the record. Like I had to really take it apart because it was a couple of versions that we had that we didn't like. So I was actually a instrumental part of the remix, coming out and placing things and really mixing and mastering it. And it gave me more insight on just being a producer, actual like producer, not just a beat maker going in there and just like playing some beats. I was sitting there mixing. Me and Evan, we sitting there mixing. They turn this down, pull this up, and move that over, and to see the record come out and do that, and then affect people 10 years later is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I just thank God for it.
Now, do you prefer to be hands-on with the artist then?
I do. I prefer to be hands-on because I feel like I'm helping the artists like see their vision as well as see my vision. Because I don't have no ego when I go in the studio. So if you tell me you don't like my beat, I'm just gonna go to the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I like to be with the artist. Like if he tell me he want to change something, okay, cool, let's change it. Because you see something that I don't see. Or I might tell him like, hey, let's turn this ad lib down and do that, and he'd be like, okay, cool, like let's do it. So I always want to be hands-on. But even if I'm not hands-on, it's cool because some of my job is done by making the beat.
Yeah.
Like I might add a drop here, drop there, but I do it in the beat too. So, but I respect the engineers too because they call me and want my input on things. Like the engineers that I work with, they have always called me and say, Izzy, do you want me to do this? You want me to do that? And they just respectful of the craft, just like I respect their craft.
Yeah.
Like I tell them, like, bro, man, make it sound how you want to sound. Just don't take the feeling away from it, and it always come out how it need to be.
Yeah, I always say engineers are so undervalued right now, man.
Man,
It's
always,
ridiculous.
always, and that's why I try to make sure, like, when I am in the studio, I'm showing love to the engineer. Like, bro, you a vital part of this. Like, you a producer as well, in a certain type of capacity. So I just try to always make sure I show the same respect to the engineer as well as the producer and the artist. Like, we all equal, because if it ain't nobody sitting there pressing them buttons and engineering,
Nothing getting recorded, man.
like, you taking care of my sound, so I have to take care of my engineer. Like, take care of your engineers.
Absolutely,
Have to.
man. Yeah. You got the placement on Street Lottery too, man. How'd that come
Yeah,
about?
man, through Scooter. Man, my business partner, man, he was always like around just different people and stuff like that, and he seen Scooter early, and he put me on. Like we always been the guys that want to work with the next, who's up next, and we didn't care about the cloud or the numbers or nothing like that. Like we believed, and he just put me on Scooter. Like, he was like, bruh, he finna be out of here. And he was like,
Yeah, Street Lottery is a classic.
it's a
man.
classic, bro. Like, it's one of the best mixtapes that came out during that time.
Absolutely.
Like, Countdown and everything. Like, Scooter was going crazy, still going crazy, but
Yeah.
it was like Street Lottery going to forever be a mixtape classic. And I'm just happy to have one on there.
No, absolutely.
The
man.
single, actually.
Yeah.
So,
I know you worked with Chief Keef a couple times too, man.
man, me and Chief Keef, a lot of the songs that we did finally starting to leak. Cause
I feel like a lot of his music leaks, so that's not
Yeah.
surprising at all.
But it's good though. Like I feel like the world need to hear it if we ain't gonna do nothing with it. But like I said, I was on Keef early too. Like immediately, I was in college when that happened.
Oh, really?
I made both of them beats. Now It's Over and Close That Door. I made those in my dorm room. I almost got kicked out of school for that.
For real?
I almost got kicked out of
Yeah,
school.
too loud, or?
Yeah, like I wasn't supposed to be playing music that loud on the floor. Like I used to have people, the RAs come and bang on the door, like turn that down, and security guards come in and tell me to turn it down. They're gonna kick me out of school, and I'm just like, yo, whatever, I'm finna leave anyways. So I won't ever tripping, but like I made some very important beats during that time. And like they weren't the best mixed or nothing like that, but that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And
He
I was
wanted
like,
that raw.
he
that
wanted
raw
that.
sound,
And I was
man.
like, man, I want to go back and mix them. I want to do that. He was like, nah, leave it how it is. I like it just how it is. I'm like, all right, bet. So I used to like, once the Now It's Over came out, I walked out my dorm room at Virginia State, and I walked outside. I just sat on the thing, and I felt like I was going through it because I didn't know what was next. And I had it was somebody that drove through, and I heard it playing. It was my first time hearing it. I heard somebody playing in the car. I'm like, bro, I just made that beat. Like, hold up. Top of world star, bro, 12 million one day.
Oh, wow.
I'm sitting on college. I'm broke. I'm sitting on campus, and I'm starting to hear every car pass by playing Now It's Over. And I'm just like, oh, shit, it's real. And I called my manager, and I told him, I was like, bruh, I'm like, school ain't it. I'm like, yeah, I got a 3.2 right now. GPA, I ain't school easy. But I'm like, but bro, this ain't it. Like, my heart ain't in this. I'm finna dip. He was like, hey, bro, like, let's go.
It's like, yeah.
Because I was only going to school for Granny and the family, you know what I'm saying? I really ain't had no passion for school, but school has always been easy for me. I felt like life was more challenging. It was more fun to like go through those life challenges. School was just too easy. Like I always had A's and B's and always on honor roll. Like I ain't never been a stupid kid. You know what I'm saying? I stayed on honor roll, Dean's List, not Dean's List, but like the school top list. I graduated 95 out of 490 some students. You know, so it's like I just knew that doing something with art was my passion. So music just happened.
You don't need school for that, yeah.
I ain't have to do that. And once I told Granny, like the good thing about my family is when I feel some type of way about something, they agree with me. They be like, all right, I'm gonna just let you do your thing. So I told Granny, I'm like, hey, look, I got some of the biggest records on the internet right now. I ain't getting paid for them because it's on mixtapes, but I'm blowing up right now, and I'm finna move. And that's when I just packed up all my stuff. I ain't even go to like the dean's office and do the papers of release.
You didn't even drop out. You just
I ain't even drop out, bro. I just left. I just
Probably
left.
the best decision you made, though.
Best decision I ever made. Trying to tell you, if I would have stayed there, dog, I probably wouldn't have known me.
Yeah, no, that's real shit, man.
Yeah, man.
A few years ago, you pop out as an artist yourself. Was that something that took a while for you to do, or was that something that just happened and you were like, all right, I'm releasing music now?
It took a while for me to do because it was like the confidence of it until I started, because I was writing. I was doing a lot of writing for, just references and stuff like that. And I was in the studio and people would walk by to my room or come in my room and be like, damn, who is that? I was like, that's me. I was like, bro, that's your voice? I'm like, yeah, that's me. It's like, man, you gotta like stop playing. Like, what you doing? And I've always had this quote that I live by. It's like, as long as I got one person to believe in me outside of myself, I'm destined to win. So once somebody said that, I took it serious and I just started releasing music. But it's also about controlling my own destiny. I don't like putting my life in another man's hands.
Yeah.
I like to be able to say, if I didn't do something, I didn't do it, versus blaming somebody else, because at the end of the day, it's your fault. So that's how I felt about putting out my own music. It's like, that's just me placing my bets on myself. Like, everybody ain't got to bet on me. I'm fine with you betting against me, but I know I'm going to win regardless, because I'm connected to the source, so I know I'm going to win. And it's been this way throughout my whole music career. I walk on faith.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to what nobody else got going on. Like, I'll try to stay around the who's and treat it like high school. It's like, nah, I see the vision and I'm gonna walk on this path right here. So whoever's in alignment with what I got going on, we're gonna win too. Because I'm gonna make sure that I'm taking you where I'm going.
Do you think you caught people off guard when you started dropping music? Like, oh, you rapping that, sir?
For sure. But it's always that, oh, this nigga rapping too. Like, oh, he rapping too. Like, yeah, I'm rapping too. And I'm singing too. And I'm writing too, because I done had a bunch of records that I done wrote on for some of your favorite artists that you don't know I'm on. But I got the paperwork. I got the paperwork. Like, it's in black and white, so,
Yeah, it's like, we had Sonny up here a few years ago, and he talked about like that stigma when a producer starts releasing music compared, like, say, J. Cole, he starts making beats, it blows their mind, like, oh my God, J. Cole can make beats too. But when a producer comes out making, dropping music, it's like, man, stick to making beats. Like, it should just be fucked up,
Yeah, but it's like, that's just what people say. So what? Like, did it stop Sonny Digital? Nope. He on tour. He with Atlantic, he doing his thing, like he popping, you feel me? Yeah. As a rapper and a producer. He ain't believe in what people said about him. Like, Dr. Dre came out with the Chronic is one of the best albums that ever come out. That's Dr. Dre album, rapping. Dr. Dre is on some of the best, like, he's one of the best rappers during that time. Nobody fucking with Dre flow. Look at Pharrell. You gonna tell Pharrell no? You gonna tell Pharrell, oh, why you rapping? Or you gonna tell Diddy why you rapping? Mm-hmm. Producers always rap. You gonna tell DJ Quick that? No, you ain't. Because he gonna come in and rap a circle around you. Some of these producers can rap circles around these artists.
And that's the thing, it's like the fans don't even give them a chance. It's like, man, just stick to making beats. And I'm like, man, y'all crazy.
But it's not about the fans, man. Like, it is, like, we give them the final product and then they do what they want to do with it because it's subjective. But when it come down to creating, it's not them. Like, when we're in that studio together, it's not them. Mm-hmm. We creating the product to give y'all something to comment on. And all comments are welcome. It's just like, you gotta, if you step out there as an artist or you step out and want to be in front of these cameras, you gotta be able to be okay with criticism. I'm okay with it. Because what another man say don't affect where I'm finna sleep tonight. Like, you said you don't like it, so somebody will like it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
It's not. Yeah. And I think now as people getting too involved in like the numbers of it, it's like, for what? Like, it only take one song to change your life. And I'm a witness to that just by the songs I produced. So imagine if I had one that I wrote, recorded, and produced. It's like playing a lottery, bro. Like, I got more chances to win on myself.
Nah, for real.
So I tell all artists and producers, like, if don't limit yourself. I'm not the type of person that wanted a box around me. Don't put no box on me and tell me what I can't do. Because everybody at one time was like, okay, all you make is trap beats. Until I played, you know, R&B beat. Like, oh, you making guitar beats and no. Okay, that's cool. I gave it to Rich Homie. Now that's I Fuck With You Girl. One of the first, at that time, I was making guitar beats a long time ago, like before it became just a wave. Mm-hmm. Man, you know how many times people told me don't play them beats, them pain beats? Nah, but don't play that. Give me something like Zay told me. And I salute Zay. Like, Zay one of my inspirations. But I got told that so many times, you know? And it's like, it was a good thing. Because they was basically saying, like, man, give me something like this. Give me something like that. And I'm like, okay, I can give you something. But I'm not him. I'm gonna give you Izzy. And it's just up to you at that point to take it and run with it or not, you know? And they ran with it.
Yeah, I always say it's tough being a trendsetter.
It is,
like, man, everyone wants you to go one way. It's like, but you're only gonna stand out if you go the other way.
Yeah, because you gotta take the flack from it. Like, you gotta take all the beatings. Like, look at Allen Iverson. He took all the beatings for the tattoos and the braids and the this and the hip hop. Well, he brought hip hop in the NBA and made it what it is, you know? And he took the hits for that. But now it's the culture.
Oh yeah, now so everyone's rocking that.
Yeah, so if you're gonna be a trendsetter, man, you gotta deal with people throwing stones at you. And that's cool, just take them stones and build a house.
Yeah. It's like they just don't understand it. They don't see the vision.
That's what it is as a creative and a visionary. Like, the vision ain't for everybody. Mm-hmm. They'll see it once you're done with the picture though. That's how it always works.
Oh yeah.
We didn't know Michael Jordan was gonna be Michael Jordan before he was. You couldn't see the future, but he had that vision, and now, greatest player to ever play basketball. So, you know, that's how I just look at things.
Yeah, nah, I fuck with that, man. Talk about Play It Cool, man.
Play It Cool, man. I love that record, dog. Like, shout out to Am Sue. Like, that's just one of the records I just got on there and just did my thing. Like, I made the beat, and I just hopped up there and I started rapping. I just speak from the heart, you know? Like, I try to just express myself through everything, like even what I'm going through or whatever. Like, I just be recording, and I'm always just creating. And then I sent the record to Sue, cause I'm like, damn, man, like Sue's so multi-talented. Like, he can rap with you, you know what I'm saying? He can sing with you, and he can do the melodics with you. And I sent him the record, man, and he was just like, bro, this is fire. Man, he sent it back. I was like, oh yeah. And he hit me with the green light. He was like, bro, this shit is fire. I was like, bet. And I put it out, and it's like, it got a good response, man. Like, I'm happy to be able to do things like that. Just that in itself is the freedom for me. Yeah. To be able to, like, call up an artist and send them a record. They send you a verse, and we put it out together, and we all eat off of it. That's the greatest feeling ever, not having to go through all these hoops to do something. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you create your own records, man, it's like, it's a breath of fresh air for sure. Yeah. So I'm happy to be able to release records like that and just show my diversity as an artist and as a producer, because I mixed and mastered the whole thing. Well, no, I didn't master it. My partner mastered it, but I mixed it and I made the beat.
Yeah.
So.
So should fans expect an album from you this year?
I wouldn't say an album. I mean, I would like to put out another project because I feel like a lot of the music that I have is like cohesive. But I definitely get calls all the time like, man, when you putting this record out, like what you doing? I know you're sitting on about 100 plus 200 songs. I'm like, yeah, but like that's just that balance of being an artist and a producer, because sometimes I give songs to people and they use whatever they want from it, or I give beats to people that I done wrote to, and you know, it comes that balance of trying to figure out like, okay, am I just gonna do this or am I gonna do that? So this year I might put out a project. I don't know. It's just about, you know, what me and my team decide to do, because I'm still active as a producer and working with, you know, a lot of hot new young artists. Yeah. So I keep my ear to the streets, but also making myself, you know, put myself in the same position. So.
Understood, man. Yeah, you just had the placement on Paper Out Woo and Snoop Band's.
Love that record.
Shit hard.
That shit is crazy, man. One of them beats where I just tried something different, sent it to him, and it's crazy because the name of the beat was called Hot Wheels.
Oh, for
and
real?
he said that in the record. So I was like, damn, like, so when they put it out, I was like, man, this shit, they gotta have a hard video. Next thing you know, they put out a hard video. Cause I love working with the new artists. Like, I love working with new talent. You get way bigger O's and wows, and you know what I'm saying? It's like you take an artist that you create a sound with them, and they just a fresh artist, no matter how many followers they got, but like they building up their catalog. That's the most fun, being a producer. Seeing something start from the bottom and working all the way up.
Yeah. I'm sure it's the most rewarding too. It's like,
yeah,
you know, get to work with them from the bottom floor and then they blow up. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Play the hand in this shit, man.
Yeah, I've always been like influenced by Memphis. So like I always like to work with a bunch of Memphis artists and stuff like, and they always gravitate towards me for some reason. I don't know, it could be the sound, it could be just me or whatever I do, but like they just gravitate towards me and hit me up, and I just send them beats and we work and we get shit done. I like to get shit done.
Yeah. So who are some of the other new artists you've been working with that you're excited about?
Man, I don't even want to say. It's a lot of them. I don't even want to say, you know, because like I've always had this thing to where I'm working with the new artists, and then here come the door. Here come everybody, which is cool, but I'm just like, no, I'm gonna get mine off first. I'm gonna go and get mine first, you feel me? And then I just like a lot of the new energy that's coming out right now, dog. Like I love Snoop Bands and the music, and Paper Route Woo, still working closely with them. Working with a lot of new writers, R&B writers.
Okay.
And I've been fucking around with a bunch of Florida artists. So just be on the lookout. Like, all I can say is be on the lookout, because I don't want to give away too much too soon and be like, you know, I'm working with XYZ. You should go work with them.
Nah, I feel
if people got their ear to the street, they know who hot.
Okay.
They know who hot, and they know me and my team. We keep our ear to the street, so we stay in the know-how.
Yeah. What's some other business ventures you got yourself into outside of music?
Man, some of everything, man. I do stocks and everything like that, and then I own a couple businesses and moving things around and just having other business ventures going on. Like I said, I never liked to be in a box, so I've always been a hustler, and I always see myself doing something bigger than just one thing. Like they always like to say, you do a lot of things, you ain't a master of nothing. It's like, well, nah, because I do the same things every day, all of them, you know. So it's like I'm always diving into some real estate, cars, or clothes. I've been making clothes for forever.
Okay.
I've been making clothes since I was a kid. I've always been into fashion, so I've been doing a lot of fashion shoots, and I've been doing a lot of brand deals, and working with a bunch of independent brands as well as corporate 500 brands, doing modeling and creative direction and photo shoots and stuff like that. So I use all my tools just to my advantage, like shooting the camera and things like that. I built a sunglass line that did some numbers, last summer, and I'm just a hustler, bro. Whatever I feel like I want to get into, I dive into it and regret whatever come with it later.
Understood, man.
Yeah, like I don't like to be just tied to, oh, you just produce, oh, you do music. Like sometimes that shit boring. Mm-hmm. I like some excitement, like
I like new challenges.
Yeah, like I love a new challenge. So I love being able to go and say, okay, let's go build a studio. Well, man, they be like, well, man, that costs money. Life costs money. So, okay, this can make money. So what we doing? And I find people that want to do things. I'm all into joint ventures and things like that. So I always got my hands in something. I'm always working on something. So.
Yeah. Can you share some advice to some, some producers trying to get their foot in the door right now?
Stay down till you come up. Sleep on floors and couches and follow your own journey and keep grinding. Don't let nobody like take you off your path. And always look at trying to like expand yourself. Like you gotta grow in other areas. Like if you ain't growing, you dying. So just make sure you growing. Whether that's learning how to make R&B beats, learning how to make drill beats. Like make as much as you can to have in your toolbox. So when it's time to get in the studio and somebody wants something like that, you already got it. So I would just say like, and know the business. This shit 10% music, 90% business.
Real shit.
Like if you want the 90% music and 10% business, just go do music somewhere else and just like chill and have your own shit going on. Your own business is going on. So you can take the power out of other people's hands. But I will also just tell like producers to stay down, find you a team, don't be jumping from click to click, believe in your people. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a hoe. Don't be out here complaining. You know what I'm saying? Don't be in a session taking pictures too much and doing things the wrong way. Watch how you talk to people. Respect the engineer. Respect everybody that you come across. Because, I mean, you'll never know while you going up or you going down, somebody going up and down, they're going to see you. Mm-hmm. So you just make sure you move with integrity. And believe in yourself. Like, man, you only need one person to believe in yourself. You only need one actual person to believe in you, and that's you. But if you got somebody else, bro, you got all you need. Because somebody else plus your belief is crazy. That's the mastermind.
Yep.
2 brains better than 1.
That's solid words right there, man.
For sure.
All right, Izzy, you got a shout out you'd like to give before you wrap it up here, man?
Man, shout out to the world. For real, man. Shout out to just everybody back home in 7-5. Shout out to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's working. Shout out to all the producers, the engineers, the creators, the people that don't get their name put in the credits. Shout out to the people behind the camera. Shout out to the people and the playmakers that make things happen. You know what I'm saying? The people that's hustling and bustling to make your favorite artist who they are. Like, you can't forget the trash man. Sometimes the trash man a millionaire, you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So salute to everybody that's just grinding, man. Like I just like seeing people win. Ain't never been no hate in my blood, you know? That's why I'm always smiling, because I just like to see people win. So because it's like if I see you winning, I feel like I'm winning.
And it doesn't stop your shine anyway.
That's all I be saying. It's like me shining a light on your light don't stop my light from shining. We just make a bigger light. That's all it is, dog. Like, get the hate out your blood, man. It ain't good for you. It's bad for your skin. See how my skin all clear and shit? That's that hate-free skin. Got to have it like that. A certain type of aura about yourself, man, when you ain't got no hate in your blood. And another thing I say to producers too, stop watching everybody's journey. Because everybody's journey ain't yours. Your journey gonna happen exactly how it's supposed to happen if you meeting God halfway. But if you just sitting back hoping something is gonna happen, it ain't gonna work for you because you ain't meeting God halfway. So just believe in yourself, man. Keep grinding, focus on your journey, and shit, I wanna see people winning. Make the music industry a better place. So.
Sleeping on me, I just let her snooze. Ain't worried about you niggas, I'm still making moves. I was born around